Hello and welcome to the third episode of the Golden Nuggets. In this kind of videos, digesting the books I currently read and presenting you the Golden Nuggets and my thought about what this means, and let's get right into it. Today I'm having a really great book from the HBR's Harvard Business Review's 10 must reads list on leadership. So this is what this channel is all about. So I thought this would be a great opportunity to share. And how these books are structured is really interesting. So they have really comments by great leaders, great people, and from this book has from 9 different people these ideas they started to implement. So the first topic is about emotional intelligence, and one thing about emotional intelligence is social skills, building rapport. Rapport is, I personally think, one of the greatest skills a person could implement into his life before, I would say, everything else. Rapport is the feeling of, hey, I like this person, and how to create this feeling that you like someone, and why creating this feeling in the first place, you might ask. So why creating it is really simple. Studies have shown that therapy, especially successful therapy, where they consider rapport, the feeling of that the patient likes the therapist, conducts over 60% of the success of the therapy. Just because the patient likes the therapist makes the therapy 60% more successful. And we could see it in our own life. You could either think, hey man, I don't like this dude that's in front of you telling you about something. I don't like his nose. He's just full of crap, full of bullshit. And nothing, even if those are great things maybe for your life, will get through because there is no rapport. And if there's rapport, if you really think, oh, I like this person, it's his message, your message will get through if you can first build up rapport with another human being, so they will hear you and not think about, I don't like him really, but it's good information, but I don't like, and so I won't use it or I won't hear it. So emotional intelligence proved to be twice as important as the others for job at all levels. This is really interesting because we're in our society are really driven about IQ and how important it is. But social intelligence, your EQ, emotional intelligence, is twice as important as your IQ. And what's the great thing about it? Emotional intelligence is learned. You can do programs, seminars upon it to improve it, to get better and to get people to like you. Because nowadays online, this trust, this liking of a person is the ultimate resource. And you couldn't think about anything less. And yes. restless with the status quo. This is about if you're looking for leaders, how can you identify people who are motivated by the drive to achieve rather than the external rewards. So I really marked restless for the status quo because this is what I'm restless in. I always see opportunity and things to do better and to improve and to get through people, and this is by all factors really important if you're actually not in the situation I'm right now. I'm right now in the situation where I develop myself as a leader, but if you're in the other dimension about developing leaders, future leaders, it's really important to look at these qualities of people. Another great quality would be a passion for the work itself, love to learn, takes great pride in a well-done job, unflagging energy. So if you find people with these markers, it's much likely that you have a great time developing them into leader or your successor, so you can leave the job for a higher or greater position. Because this is actually how we should give someone a better job, give someone a raise, if they have someone other ready to take upon their position in the company. People with high levels of motivation might ask to be stretched by their superiors. This is another great marker, because if I don't have any motivation, I don't want to be stretched. I want to do just the things I already did. But if you have one person that asks to be stretched, then you have some real guy inside of you should really noticing. Napoleon allegedly said that no successful battle ever followed its plan. Yet Napoleon also planned every one of his battles far more meticulously than any earlier general had done. It's obviously Napoleon Bonaparte we're talking about right now. This is another great thing I want to mention, because I'm going to talk about much planning, because being a leader means you have to plan, you have to manage yourself and others. And without a plan, nothing will get done. But also, like Napoleon said, hey, if I don't do it, no battle will go as it planned. But if I have a plan, I have a direction I'm heading to, I have the possibility to make it right and to reverse it in my mind. What I personally do is weekly I'm planning my week every Sunday morning. So I really get associated, okay, and really specifically, I specifically lay down a map. What am I doing from 5 a.m. to 7 a.m., from 8:30 to 12 p.m., and so on. And once I did this for every day of the week, I plan my day. And it starts on the day before. The day before, in the evening, before I go to bed, I do this some kind of meditation where I thought about the day, what happened, and what I'm going to do the next day. So I know what I'm going to do, and then I write it down once more, because what you write is what you invite. If I have a plan, and most of my colleagues are like, yeah, but then I spent 50% of my time planning. No. This only takes me for like 10 minutes a day, 30 minutes a day, but every 5 minutes, but the hour I use up planning my week, planning my day, will take away those 5 minutes chunks that appear like 30 times a day if I don't plan it. And it will actually save so much more time. Making a meeting productive takes a real deal of self-discipline. We all know it. We're having a meeting and we just want to stick on one topic, and then someone says something or do something and a whole nother universe opens up, and then we're not getting to the point. So be disciplined in your meetings. To have a schedule is really important. Effective executives know that any given meeting is either productive or a total waste of time. So either you have a productive meeting, you're really speaking about what to do, what's next, and how to solve it, or you're just freaking around. Management is about coping with complexity. Leadership, by contrast, is about coping with change. What I told earlier, complexity is when I'm not managing my day. The problem is if something is if a task is too complex, we get overwhelmed, and complexity is the enemy of execution. So to manage means to really get out there and simplify those things, to not get overwhelmed. Overwhelmment only starts if you don't know what to do, and if you know what to do, you might not have the right priority of when to do, or in which order I should do it. And leadership is about change. A real leader gets people to change, gets himself to change out of a thought pattern, to change out of a limiting behavior. This is what a leader does. A leader creates results, and results are the outcome, are the end of change. All starts with change. Good leaders recognize and reward success. So if you want to be a bad leader, don't recognize success. It's like a superior of mine is really a great person, but he does not have any leader capabilities. The problem is every time something went right, he's taking it all for himself, and if something goes wrong, he looks at other people. Yesterday I actually talked with a customer of mine, and it's really funny. He told me, because he also noticed my superior, he told me that my superior said to him, hey, for this person I did this, and this, and because everything is great right now. And he was a bit suspicious. And then we talked, and I was like, what did he tell there? I did like anything. And this happens so often, and really to notice this, that you blame you. So the principle behind it is, great leaders look in the mirror if something goes wrong, and look out of the window if something goes right. Those leaders who will fail ultimately do it reverse. They look in the mirror if something goes good, goes fine, or something great happens, and they look outside of the window if something bad happens. Business leaders have to be able to view patterns as if they were on the balcony. So it's like the standard thing, everyone who's going to be on higher positions tells you the first thing to utilize to really get yourself to knowing, because of reading, because of feeding your mind, is to recognize patterns. Pattern recognition is a really important thing most people will never be capable of creating. Recognize the pattern that of the seasons, for example. We really needed long to recognize the patterns of the season, and because of this, our land was no resource. And because we recognize, hey, wait, there is spring, there's summer, there's autumn, there's fall, and there's winter. When we plant in spring, we can reap in fall. We recognize the pattern of the year. A year has 4 patterns that will end up in a cycle. So to recognize patterns is a really useful skill. And to view them from a balcony, this is like to step out, to don't be involved too much in the moment. We all know it. Creating change in another person is much more easier than it is actually for creating it inside of yourself. Why? Why is this? Because you're too involved within yourself. But this is the greatest opportunity I sense myself, because it's so much harder to create this change inside of you. This is where you want to begin, want to start. This is where you can really learn. So basically, this is the first skill. The second skill is pattern utilization. Once you recognize all these patterns, you want to actually use them, because information that is not used frequently will render useless. And the third pattern is pattern creation. You understand so much of the principles, you use them so many times that you begin to create patterns on your own. And this is when you really are a true master of anything. Why would anyone want to be led by you? This is a great question. Those scientists, I would say, ask a lot of leaders across the United States and Europe, and everyone was stunned hush. The important thing is that you really consider this question and think about, why would anyone want to be led by me? No business can do anything. A business can't do anything without its followers. And followers in these empowered times are hard to find. So this is really the thing we must consider. What can I do that will get my people to want to follow me? And how can I serve them in a way that's not good for me, but good for them? Because I really believe that business is a spiritual game. If you only give much more than anyone would ever consider you would be giving. This is when you're having the success of your life. Give and you shall be given. The only love you fail to receive is the love you fail to give. Because if you give love, you have much more inside of you and in others. Period. Sharing an imperfection is so effective because it underscores a human being's authenticity. To recap it, I often share my inadequacies. I often share my problems I'm having right now. Not only because of the statement, but really to get you understand where I'm right now and what are my challenges, and hopefully help you not having the same challenges like me. And this is one of the worst things I'm seeing right now on YouTube, especially when I look at those Andrew Tate and so on. It's like really I really respect him, what he's doing, but it's like they're so unreachable and they seem so, on social media everyone is so perfect and no one wants to share what they're good, what they're bad at, and we're scared about it that, yeah, if I share everything I am with another person, they can't possibly love me. And maybe it's not despite of your limitation that you love another person. Maybe it's because of the limitations we love another person. I really sometimes like this silence when I'm done with my talking and going through the book to find the next thing I want to talk about, because this gives you and me time to recap what I was telling right now, and feel free to pause the video and really think about you. Hey, you might not even, you might think, hey, this is not how I sense it, and then please write it down in the comments. I would love to have a conversation about these topics right here. Taken together, they tell executives to be authentic. As you counsel the executives we coach, be yourself, be more with skill. There can be no advice more difficult to follow than that. It's really hard, especially when you're online, to be authentic and be yourself. And this is one of the greatest prides I'm having with my people, with my friends. I ask them, hey man, they often tell me, yeah, he writes how he thinks, how he speaks. And I'm like, thank you. But it's not, this is not a compliment for most of them, because they think, hey, yeah, but this is a problem, because people will think, yeah, he's just like this, but I am like this. And why shouldn't I be another person if I write, if I speak with an audience than I am in private? If I'm really living what I'm teaching, if I practice what I preach, if I walk my talk, then I should be able to share everything, how I am, how I be, how I will become in private as in public. Speak correctly at all times. Great expectations are evidence of great respect. So this is actually not my main language in English, but you'll notice that sometimes not really good because I'm German and I think I have this German accent, you can tell me, and I really try to find the right words to express myself fully, and I sense it as a sign of respect. So for example, I have a really great friend who's a chef, and I was eating by him his new dishes because he's a really passionate gourmet chef. Currently he's working in Hotel Riva in Konstanz. It's on the Bodensee, Germany, and it was really great. And what I said to him, that upon the respect of his cooking skills, I feel myself obligated to give him the most exact words to define how it tasted. It's like he prepared, so the first meal I got was, there were five times the same thing on one dish, and it was meant that you eat like one on your just one after another, and there was a crunch, so crunchy, so nuts were in them, I think, and one crunch was hidden in one of them, so you didn't know that it was coming because I ate the first. I thought, yeah, it's really good, and then on the third thing I ate, there was the crunch, and I was like, wow, it's like a jackpot. So wow, I wanted once more because it was really sweet and really great. And because of this speaking correctly at all times, speaking what I really mean, and speaking what to get understood easily, because language is really hard sometimes, oftentimes, is a really great skill you can develop as a leader. I never stopped trying to become qualified for the job. There's no much truer thing someone could say or I ever heard, because this is the constant thing that circulates in my mind. Every time I start recording a video, every time I'm doing anything, I have this internal need, internal desire to get the best out of it today, because I think I need to be qualified. I need to do it better and better. And this is really one of the most important things I think a leader should be doing. It's like the Kaizen principle. It's Japanese and stands for constant and never-ending improvement. This is another definition. I come to it later, but it actually means so many definitions. Continual improvement. The other thing is it is what Tony Robbins is going to implement in his book Power Principles. If you read it in English, can I constant and never-ending improvement. My preliminary hypothesis is that there are two categories of people: those who don't have the level 5 seeds within them, and those who do. So he's talking about level 5 leadership. But what is level 5 leadership in the first place? In the first place, level 5 leadership is also a synonym for servant leadership. But servant leadership doesn't sound so great because most of the people are like, oh, he's just a servant and won't think highly of them, so he's level 5. Level 4, for example, are the leaders who really do a great job, but they stay in the front and say, look, everything I did great. And they are telling right now that not everyone has level 5 in seed within them. And I certainly believe that you who hears this message right now has the seed within them. And I really would appreciate to follow your journey along, and maybe to get connected, to share some thoughts about it. Not all meetings are a waste of time. Some are cancelled. Like we told before, most meetings are a waste of time. And what's the definition of a meeting? Peter F. Drucker had a really great definition. Every conversation that involves at least 2 people is called a meeting. No one can be authentic by trying to imitate someone else. You can learn from others' experiences, but there's no way you can be successful when you are trying to be like them. So this is what everyone means. Oh, no. Okay. So this is what everyone means when they tell you, hey, just find your own way. No. Learn from others' experiences, but don't copy them. Be your own authentic self and get it out there. All of us have the spark of leadership in us. You must devote yourself to a lifetime of realizing your potential. Everyone has a spark of leader. If you're a mom, if you're a housewife, if you're a stay-at-home dad, you're leading your family. If you're just by yourself, like I am right now, you're single and just finding your place in the world, you're a leader because you lead yourself. And to ignite the spark, to really decide what level of leader do I really want to be ultimately. So this might be really another topic, because if I start talking about it, might take way too long. But there's a depth and the breadth of leadership. The most important thing is first to go deep before you go wide. Before you try to manage another person, start mastering the management of yourself. Before you try to manage several other people, master managing, leading another person, one other person. Don't try to build a culture if you can't even manage a group of people or lead a group of people. So basically, my storage was full and Luckily, it was the only only really late into the video, and I only had one thing to share. It's good leaders understand that sense making is a continuous process. They let the map emerge from a melding of observations, data, experiences, conversations, and analysis. So, what this means is you notice that I myself repeat myself really often. It's not because I think we're people are stupid, but I really have the belief that repetition is the mother of all skill, and to make sense to a person, you want to repeat. Because I have a internal belief system that one new idea, one new knowledge, one new thing can change my whole life forever. So basically, to speak, we don't always hear everything another person tells us, or we tell to another person. So most managers, leaders, the greatest managers and leaders mistrust conversation. Like Peter F. Drucker also wrote that a general does not ask because he thinks the person does not remember. He asks to get to know, and he repeats himself to get to know that the person really heard him. And this was now HBR on leadership. Really interesting book, really insightful. And one of the things I want to mention is actually doing these videos and sharing my knowledge, the things I read lets me be able to first share with you, so you can have a shortcut and don't need to go through these books. But I really want you to go through that, you repeat them, and if some concept, some thing did not really make sense in the context I gave to you, I want to challenge you to read the books on yourself. And the awesome thing about it is, because I repeat it once more and actually have a conversation about what I read. So it's like, yeah, I can when I think about, oh, this is making sense because of this, this, and this, it's much more profound knowledge if I actually have to communicate it, that it's making sense to another person. And because of this, I noticed that it's that it's really making it stick more. The grooves goes down even deeper. And yes. So if you like this video, if you like these insights, please leave a like, and see you soon.